as it develops for the lobster industry and kind of represent each side of it as fairly as possible. Interview with Kristen on his boat and Lucien as well, and some of you that we know. We're trying to be an amplifier for your voices and to go across Canada. So it's out of our own pocket that we're doing this story. It's, as you can see, it's pretty budget.
No corporate backing here.
But you know, we're on anybody's side that wants to tell us a story. So if you want to come and talk to us afterwards or whatever, we're open to hearing everything.
I got a question. What's the skateboard for?
It puts the camera on a slider, so it gives it a really cool motion.
It makes it look like we have money.
Yeah.
On screen. That's what we'll be driving. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Well, the music's always pretty
Welcome, everybody. We'll have a pause. When you have concerns or comments, you can stop me anytime. I can answer every question you want to, and I ask, no problem. First thing we're going to talk about is, how do you fellows know, going back and comparing last year, that you will get $325? How do you know? Without the dealers committing to a price of $325. How do you know that? Tell me. You don't know, do you? And if this is any example, come on in, guys, 20 chairs. Digby last year, $550. 3 days later, they paid $450 and stayed the course for a long time. A week before we opened. That's an example. You fellas gonna probably get $225 for your lobsters. You gotta have a commitment before you go lobster fishing this fall. It's ludicrous what you're doing. You're going out, you're catching lobsters, you're coming in, you're throwing them at the dealers. I never heard tell us such a foolish system in all my life. You go to Sobeys and you done and went up to the checkout there and you said, well, here's $10. No, that's not $10 for the food. You got $65 and we want $65. How do you know you're going to get $325? That's all I hear, $325. You don't know that. Another question relates to the same thing. Come on in. Have you asked the dealers what they're going to pay? And did you get an answer? Plenty of chairs up here, guys. All kinds of chairs. You might have asked them, but you never got an answer. You didn't. Thanks for coming. Okay. We know the story. If you don't stand your ground and get a community price, the dealers are going to pay whatever they want to pay. They've done that for the last 4 or 5 years. They have. And some of you guys hasn't paid last year's bills. Your gear bills, your rope gear, your rope, your fuel, your bait, and I know, because I've talked to them. People don't, when they in dire straits and don't have money, they don't tell the world they don't have money. They're ashamed of that. I've been down them roads too. So you don't hear about that very much, but I hear about it quite a lot of times, okay? You gotta remember that this is your industry. It belongs to you. And listen here. Last year, okay, we started in 1688. I'm only going to talk on this for a second and do with 1688. 4th of January. 24th of January, the price went to $5.50. Then it went to $6.25. Okay? You gained just a little bit of ground to take back this industry. Then, come the last week of April, dealer said we'll pay $4.50 up until the 12th day of May. Then we're going to pay what we wanted. You went on strike. You gained just a little bit of ground. If you're going to have a successful industry, You gotta fight for what you believe in. You have to. Because you know what? You come in and say, Tom, you know, you come in, you throw your losses at the dealer and say, pay me what you can. Hey, it's your fault. And by the way, we've had big problems for 21 years. Okay? We'll get that straight right quickly. You fellows cannot go without a committed price this fall. If you do, God knows what's gonna happen. Guaranteed you're not gonna get a fair price. In my mind, fair price is $5 plus. If we had a majority in 1688, we would tell the buyers what's gonna happen. We have a majority, we have the right to tell you that these guys are not going fishing unless you pay this price. We don't have a majority. Okay? Last year, Department of Commerce in USA, Canadian lobsters, this is what the Department of Commerce reported. $8 a pound average, Canadian lobsters. Sales in the United States, $8 a pound. Remember, most of the lobsters that you caught for $3.25, December is a big month in USA. They got $8 a pound, these dealers did in USA. Erica does a log on to the computer, she got this report. $8 a pound. Let's talk about Digby. Digby last year, $5.50, then $4.50. This year, $3.50. 17th day of October, they paid the fishermen $3.50 and sold them for $7. The 18th, they got $7.50 for them. You know why they done that? I'll tell you why, because the market is red hot. Your market in sales has quadrupled over the last 5 years. They never bought these lobsters last year and released them back in the wild because they couldn't sell them. They sold them. And they made money on them. What you fellows have done is you fellows have caused the biggest mess for yourself and your communities and kids that's not even born. Remember, up until 5 years ago, you've been living in paradise. They said about a hurricane coming here. I'd say, so what? They say, well, you got a bad northeaster coming. Guess what? I live in paradise. The ocean has been good to me, and been good to you fellows up until 5 years ago. And you cannot let this happen no more. Okay? It's like this. The last year you fellows had a good price was 10 years ago. You averaged over $7 a pound. Yeah, more production. But like I told you, the sales had quadrupled. On the amount of lobsters you fellows caught, the last fiscal year was 55 million pound of lobsters in 33 and 34. Your market had quadrupled. Talked to Flavian, he was talking to a Maine fisherman. $2.85 for the soft, $4.75 for the hard. And the dealers around here can't commit to a price. This is your fellows' fault. This is your ocean. And you better look after it. Because you know what? Paradise will be lost. People say to me, oh, I'm 60 years old, I don't care. Guess what? There's something wrong with that guy. Something wrong with him. He brought up his kids, put money in the bank. He's got a nice boat. Where'd that all come from? Come from the ocean, didn't it? One thing I want you to do when you leave this meeting tonight, tomorrow we talk to your buddies, I want you to share the information that we had to this meeting. And I do want you to do one thing. Log on to One Dead Fish.
Stress
Anybody
that,
else see
James.
it?
Stress that, James.
Huh?
Stress that. Everybody needs, and instead of looking at it at the gram fishery, look at it as though they're talking about the lobster fishery.
Same thing's gonna happen if these guys don't stop it. One dead fish, the documentary was done in 1996. What happened to the ground fishery? People lost their families, they went bankrupt. Suicide. Guess what, it'll be worse this time. And I'm not here blowing hot air at you. I'm telling you the truth. In 3 to 5 years' time, if you fellas don't take this industry back, make some money, to pay your bills, raise your family, and put a little money in the bank, 3 to 5 years, the corporate world is going to own you. That's what's going to happen. Remember, I'm the guy who went in Yarmouth with 900 shippers and told them the truth in 1990. That's what's going to happen. The corporate world is going to own you. Because when the corporate world gets the majority of the power, and they're gaining on you, there's a lot of American influence on your soil, and the marketplace, they'll drive that price so low, you fellas won't be able to go. And then it's going to come the crying time of saying, well, you know, we got to have quotas. Yeah, is that right? Just look at one dead fish. You know what's going to happen? Your rigs. We'll just say hypothetically your rig's worth $700,000. You're going to sell it to the corporate world, then you're going to get what they give you. There's only one way you guys are going to stop this. I don't care if you're a member. I do care if you're a member of 1688, but if you don't want to join, that's your privilege. You have to unite. Sell your differences. Don't make a difference, you've got everything paid for or not. Settle your differences and unite. Give us something to take back to the dealers and say, listen, they're not going to dump on dumping day. They're not. Until you commit yourself to a price. And if it isn't the price that we will agree to, they're not going lobster fishing. You got a week earlier this year, almost. And so what if you lose a few days? Where do you think these lobsters are going to go to? Going to disappear? Evaporate? They're not going to do that. They're going to be out there. When you fellas set your pots, they will be there. And it isn't too hard, you know. You know, they had a turf war in New York, you know, the blacks and the mob, you know. 3 days, he killed 64 of their buddies. Guess what? They finally united. And you fellas can't unite? Something's wrong. We made sure this time, and we have for a little while, to invite Area 33, 34 Manhunt and Advisory. Erica sent an email to Jeff D'Angemont and also talked to him on the phone. He's not here. He should be here with us.
Well, there's some hockey to go watch tonight.
I don't care. There'll be hockey after you fellas lose your jobs and go bankrupt.
I don't have to tell me.
He should be here. He took that job on, he should be here. And I got something else to add to it. The process that they're doing is wrong. You don't let the government come back at you and say, well, this is what you've got to do. You go in the reverse. You tell them what conditions you're going to fish by. These is our conditions. This is our ocean. This is what we're going to have. 21 years, you fellas, you took us, and I'm not saying that the 34 advisory management board should go away. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying, make it very clear, they got to change their agenda. And they got to represent you guys. Come on. You tell me a bureaucrat knows anything about how we live.
You're right, because as an industry, we should be smart enough to run our own, not have some bureaucrat in Ottawa telling us what to do.
They don't care about you.
Right.
You think they care about you? Look at the abuse they've handed down. Log walks, 1890 for your lobster lake. Entrapment laws, galore. By the way, they did take the 72-hour deal off. That's gone. That's the only one they took off, though. And God knows what they're going to come up with next. And you fellows all know that they've been chafing at the bit for quotas. Now, you might think I caught, well, let's see, now, I've averaged 75, 80,000 last year, and that's what I'm gonna have in total. You will get what the government was going to give you if you go to quotas. Who trusts the government here? I sure as hell don't. It's like this. You fellas showed the dealers this spring that you fellas could unite. And I gotta take my hat off to you, I didn't think you'd stay that long on strike, but you did. And you need a huge pat on the back. There's no reason why you fellas can't unite. You cannot go fishing, lobster fishing, without a committed price. You can't. You can't. There's people right on the Tilton board. I talked to a lot of people in the 30s and 40s. This year, if I can't put money away in the bank and pay my bills and accrue a good cruise share, I'm gonna sell out. I'm done. And like I said, you got another problem here with the corporate takeover. The DFO is chased at the bit for at least 10, 12 years to see if they could find an avenue, to see if they could coach you, to set the trap for you to go to quotas. 1985. 1985. 3 fishery officers was in the Department of Fisheries Enforcement. They told me all the same story. DFO was having meetings to make you folks less successful in the ground fishery. And they set the trap, and the fishermen walked into it. Where's the fishermen today? We had 4,400 and change of longline license and hand licenses. We got 8 boats now that's got enough quota to make 4 or 5 trips a year. Come on, guys. Time to smarten up. Time to dig your head out of the sand and smarten up. This lies in your fellas' hand, and it's not too difficult. We don't have to do a study. We know the problem. And I'm going to ask you another question. Who can stand up here tonight and tell me how many lobsters they're going to catch this season? I want to meet you. I want to hear what you got to say. Every year I went lobster fishing, it was different. At the time I had it figured out, I was wrong. Well, I'm going to set my gear here, and I'm going to fish in this area, and I'm going to catch 40,000. That didn't happen. It didn't happen. And who's going to tell me that these dealers, without you fellows standing your ground, is going to pay you a fair price for your product? Plenty chairs over here, guys. Come over, Andy. So, the short term, we've been through that. 1688 was born. It helped out on the 4th of January to the 24th, you got 550. Then you fellows helped yourself and united, members and not members, and you staged the strike. That's the short term. The long term is showing these dealers that you guys are going to stand your ground and stand strong. And during this meeting, anybody's got a better idea? I want to hear it. And don't tell me, oh, well, I got to go because I owe bills. Jesus Christ, when you die, you got to be paid to be buried. So you're always going to have bills. So it's a time now for have a little humor. The deer hunters are all depressed down the South Shore now. They're depressed. There's a new camera that was invented this year, $795. And they sold them out. Can't get them all. Depressed. First load of carrots, Leroy Walker came in. The carrots was among us. And they was all excited. Next load come in. Gee whiz, man, they was all depressed. They was that small. Holy shit. But I got a better one. They run out of nerve pills in Southwest North. The truth. The dealers have bought up all the nerve pills. They're not like me. Don't believe me. All right. Don't worry, they're worried. You know why they're worried? Because they think they need that control. Listen, you fellas know. We have, this makes 35 meetings we've been to. We never fabricated any story. You've been told the truth. You have. The dealers, without you guys, the dealers would not have a business. They wouldn't be able to run that business. China, about 2 years and 2 months. In 18 months, their sales were 300% in 18 months. Now, China's always handed a few losses, but as they kept making money and get more wealthy, they handed. Right now, they're quadrupling. They need your losses as one of them. They're demanding £1.50 or £1.75 to a £5 lobster. Where are they going to get it from? You folks.
Through December and January is Chinese New Year, and this year is the year of the dragon. So it's huge demand for wedding season for the Chinese to get married now in mainland China before February 14th. They're in contact with me, £5 million.
I'm hoping we're going to have a New Year's here. James Moon is going to be down in Dublin with black cloud program. Dealer's worst nightmare. No lobsters, no sales. The salespeople will get their lobster somewhere if these guys don't have them. You honestly believe that they won't commit to a price if you will stand your ground? They'll cave in. Trust me.
They were pretty nervous when they thought maybe that they were going to vote for 300 pounds. They were nervous
And a week delay, they was nervous.
Yeah.
The nerve pills, they sold out that time too. They sold out.
They were calling around seeing what the hell was
I
going
want
on.
you to tell them that tomorrow to these dealers, what I said. I want you to tell them.
They didn't want 300 pots because they had said, you know, we already got orders, and if every boat has 75 pots less, they were worried.
Now, going back to a dealer. You know where the $7 come from? One dealer in Wedgeport told Jeff Urban that he got $7 a pound for his lobsters at Digby. Out of the boat and back to another man's truck and put them in a box. Now that guy put them in a box, he made money on them too. So right now I'm going to ask, is there anybody that has a better idea? Why can't you tonight? Tell me. Geez, there's some people I don't like, there's a lot of people who don't like me. But you know what, to save my community, this is what I'm here for. Your community is my community. James Wallace saved my life. In Wedgeport.
The buyers having licenses are,
Can't hear you.
the buyers having licenses are keeping us from being united. The buyers have enough licenses now, and there's enough people that owe money to the buyers
That's
that,
bull crap. That's bull crap. You know that tell a dealer, here's my boat. You got money in my boat, I'm not gonna go broke. I'm standing my ground with my friends. I'm not going fishing. Life is about making great decisions. Naturally, I never made every good decision. About my job, I made some good decisions. Did I set any records? No. Am I perfect? No. But I know the answers.
Have you looked around the world at the price of lobster right now?
No.
I've researched it just to cry every once in a while. It's retarded how high lobster is everywhere else. You know, you don't have to go too far, but they're always going to say it costs too much to ship them. But it doesn't cost $50 to ship a lobster from here to Chile. They're
And the
50
la-
or 50, 60 bucks a pound right now.
In the last 4 years,
I think we're still $9 or something like that, actually.
in the last 4 years, and most of this product went into US. Your shrimp, your crabs, your scallops, your halibut, record traces. The second day of November, I'm on to the New England market, hake was 160 head on. Fulton Fish Market, large cod, 8.5 pounds, $4.25 a pound.
In Norway,
I
it's
know
like-
my shit.
in Norway, it was
Okay,
something
so-
like 40 or 50 bucks a pound right now, in Norway. It's not in the middle of nowhere,
Where'd you
they
get-
go
hold it.
fish there.
Putting you on the spot, what'd you get for your hake last trip?
Hey, and I was over at it, $2 man.
Anyway, I haven't mounted it every week, but I did mount it the second day of November. Only thing was in the shit house, in the garbage can was lobsters. But, US Department of Commerce says they paid, the market people in USA paid the dealers in Canada $8 a pound. That's reported by the US Department of Commerce.
It's $16 a pound just for a goddamn tail. That's what pisses me off. No matter where you look, the lobster is in double digits. It's retarded how high it is all over the world. It costs 75 cents a pound to ship a lobster from Wedgeport to fucking Vancouver. But it's 20, 30 bucks a pound there.
Last fall, something else you didn't know. Tailwater paid $4 a pound in 33. And they did. This was a deal. You sell me your lobsters, I pay you half up until the 17th or 18th day of December. When the 17th or 18th day of December, I pay you $4 a pound. I make up the rest of the money. That's what Clearwater, and we'll be monitoring in this year. And you guys will be able to have that information, because we're gonna monitor Maine. Digby, well, that's kind of the 350 pound, they held them that day at 350, but we'll be monitoring Clearwater this year. They'll have the same deal this year. I got another question for you. I got a couple of dealers on the US side want to come in and buy lobsters. Not putting anybody on the spot. I'll hit it up if we do it. How many lobsters do you think we can buy in Yarmouth? If them two dealers come in here, they're credible, you'll be paid, and pay a little bit more money. I don't know, it'll probably be around a quarter, it might be even more. It depends on a lot of things. You think I'm buying the lobsters in Yarmouth? No. Can I buy any Woods Harbor? No. The dealers know that. They know that. You fellas have got to change. I'm not saying for you to go out and sell me lobsters. Hey, that's your privilege. If you want to sell a few lobsters to me and the couple dealers out of the US, that's okay. If you don't, that's no problem. But here,
I think the more competition, the better, because.
but you don't have no
That's what I
competition.
mean.
The dealers just drove these guys with a quarter and 50 cents off the wharf.
No, we've got pigeonholed by 3 or 4 companies, and that's it. That's all of them take our lobsters, and this is what you're gonna get. Here you go.
The worst, the dealers, the pain they've inflicted on you is 2 things. You know what they are, don't you?
I can name more than 2 things.
Coercion, they call it, price fixing. And there's another thing goes to that. When the dealer wakes up in the morning and he goes down to his plant and he has a salesman and he wants to sell 30,000 pound lobsters, we'll just say you fellas are on $5 like you was a spring, for example. And he comes in the office and his salesman says, you're getting tough, you've only sold about 10,000 pounds. You know what he says? We gotta drop the price for the fisherman. First thing they say. Remember, you fellas have no price as of now. You have no commitment. You're the only people in the world that will go fishing, fish hard, smart as hell, not mind the food, not mind checking the field. You run on the field, somebody else will tow us home. Don't worry about that. Have we got enough vans aboard? We got enough crates aboard? Bait. Don't worry about your sleeping bag. Leave it at home. You ain't gonna sleep anyway. Come on, man. Come on, let's get real. Come on. I think some of the problem is, no, I believe some of the problem is, there's some guys that has ties with lobster fishermen, and what they do, they try to brainwash them. You gotta go. You got bills to pay. You got children to feed. Well, you know what? The harder you go, the faster you're gonna go in debt. You're gonna bankrupt this industry, and the corporate world will own your ass. You got 3 to 5 years at the moment. And there'll be one boat laying in the Woods Harbor Wharf. It'll be mine. I got a 14-foot outboard boat. Were you to the meeting in 1990 when I spoke? Huh? What did I say was gonna happen, Andy? Everybody broke the neck, sign on to ITQ. Now, everybody's running this way. Oh, my fish is gone. No wonder, you give it away. Yeah. Anyway, Erica, did I tell a story about 34 and Jeff?
Yep.
Good. We're going to have Sandy started to come up here first, and then we're going to have comments and concerns. Anything you got on your mind, now's the time to tell me after Sandy speaks. You want to speak? Huh?
You said pretty much everything you're gonna say anyway.
I must be losing it. Okay, let's dig into let's dig into comments and concerns. Somebody must have a question or two here somewhere. Got it?
I'm a true believer in striking and whatnot, but is there any way that DFO would ever enforce a strike if we had a vote that the majority?
Let me tell you something, young man, right quick, like if you're gonna help, you're gonna be united, you're gonna help use the budgets. Forget about the government.
Yep.
I was in New Brunswick.
Okay, but strikes tend not to work because we always have guys that are gonna go either way. Is it possible that DFO would ever enforce a strike if we were united?
I think the strike was very effective. Don't get me wrong.
So do I.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not here to breathe up. And I don't like the threats. In fact, I've had some threats. Okay? But as I said, remember what I said. If you are going to help, you're going to be united to help one another. Look, I've had people say we need a consultant. We don't need no consultant. We don't have to do a study. We need a lawyer. We're not being charged for nothing here tonight. We don't need a lawyer neither. We need each other. And I know, in my own mind, there's very few of you, and I'll say 20% of you, maybe 15, 20% in the lobster industry, put a little bit of money away in the bank. Now I'm going to tell you something else. And I might even apply for one of these jobs. Harbour's going to put a pipeline across Canada, and you're going to say, well, he's gone nuts this time. It has nothing to do with the lobster industry. Oh, yes, it does. Harbour is going to pipeline Canada, and eventually it will come to New Brunswick and Nova Scotia. It's full of shale gas. You don't have to refine it. And the first crack, they're looking for 125,000 new jobs. So when you look around and you say, I know he's going fishing with me, and I know he's gonna go lobster fishing with me, and all of a sudden, you meet me down on the wharf, and Andy Swain says, and I forget your name a little bit, Pat, Sproul, James, you know what? We're quite happy today, we got a job. What are you gonna do, Andy?
I say, go west.
And that's coming sooner than later. They will start this pipeline, the first whack is gonna go from Saskatchewan, but they're gonna rebuild it this way too. I know what I'm talking about. So, if you want to go fishing, first thing you gotta do is unite. Number two, you have to make a good living for you and your crew members. When I went off to fishing, guess what? I was a proud, proud man when I come in and paid my crew good money. You know why? Because I had a good crew and I wanted to keep them. They're not going to stay with you fellows if you can't make them a good living. They got children to bring up, children to feed, babies being born, so on and so forth. They're not going to do that. And somebody must have another comment here somewhere along the way. Come on. Somebody's got to have something on that mind.
To be honest, James, I don't blame them to do go west.
I wouldn't either.
You stick around here.
You think I'd go lobster fishing with you? For $3.25 a pound? No way, not me. No, sir. I'd come down and face you and say, Andy, guess what? Me and you friends, guess what? We're gonna park and I'm gone. I ain't even gonna give you a chance to answer me. No.
I don't blame you for going.
Me neither.
Stick around here, look for 15,000.
Would you go on deck for $3.25? No, you would not.
No fucking way, James. You give a Tandy crew member a check and they're ashamed to fucking give it to them. How little it is, what the cost, it's not a very good state.
No, it isn't. And kids has gotta have food in that village. And by the way, I'm gonna tell you something else. 1 out of every 5 children goes to bed hungry in Shelburne County. I have a direct information. I have a friend in social services. 1 out of every 5 children goes to bed hungry in Shelburne County. Come on, guys. Come on. People going in receivership. Look, and not only that, here's the other problem. How in the hell are you fellas going to pay your bills to the government? Steamboat inspection. Workman's compensation, that goes up every day. How you going to do that?
Next year, 100% observer coverage on all boats sailing
They don't have-
outside of the lobster industry, and that will happen.
There's going to be
sooner or
some
later.
observer coverages this year.
And listen to this one now, but the bill will be fitted by you, not the government anymore.
This year, there will be observer coverage, and you're going to have to pay
But that one, you wanna start thinking.
$500.
On a fishing trip, that will run you about $3,000 to $5,000 extra on your expense. Just to have the observer aboard.
Can we do something about the government? I don't think we can, but we have to have a majority.
Fuck around, get 1 or 2.
You know what I tell them? If I was in Jeff John's once, yeah, listen, we're gonna write out what conditions we're gonna fish by. And that's the way it's going to be.
Have they had any meetings? Is there anyone here on the board tonight, or
Pardon me?
is there anyone here on the board tonight from 34?
Don't know, no man.
One.
Yeah.
Like, have they had meetings, have they got a plan, or, you know, what are they saying?
I had meetings with the buyers today. But, as far as, after the 300 trap limit, when that was shot down, there's no new plan for this fall.
You're gonna make the plan.
So they want to
You
go.
will. You're gonna make the plan. You will. You will. You will make the plan. You're gonna make the plan. You're gonna make the plan. If you give in this fall, let me tell you,
We're screwed.
there's gonna be things happen that you never realized that could happen. Life is about decision. We had one meeting with the dealers, and actually, at that meeting, what happened was, in 2 weeks' time, we're supposed to have another one, and Erica sent them an email asking them what conditions they wanted changed so we could get a fair price for your folks' lots. The next thing we knew, about 10 days later, no more meetings with the dealers. You can have all the meetings you want in. Unless you give us something to take to the table. I ain't gonna take to the table, all I do is call them up and say, guess what, they ain't going. Simple. I don't wanna have any noise. I like that story, Claude, you told about your uncle. Can I tell it?
Go ahead.
Huh?
Go ahead.
Claude was talking about lobsters and so on and so forth, and said, Melton told him, said, this year we ain't gonna lie to you, Claude. I think that's funny. I do. I think about it all the time. Somebody must have something on mind.
I don't mean to pick on him or he's up on the board, but,
No, we can't, no, we ain't gonna pick on him.
it seems like the overall fisherman wants $5 a pound for their lobster, so you guys going to these meetings, like, when they say there's nothing they can do, are you guys saying, you know, like, they're probably not gonna go fishing? Or are you trying to compromise with them? Like, what goes on at these meetings that we're not allowed to be at?
What meetings?
Well, you said you had a meeting today with the buyers.
Okay, the meeting today with the dealers, had a meeting today with the Fish Packers Association. There was no outcome there, nothing worth talking about. The price in DB is $350, we don't know what it's gonna be, blah, blah, blah. But, there's no management board meeting that's private, anyone can attend at any time. I mean, they're not broadcasted every day on CJLS, it costs money, there's no money, it's all a bunch of volunteers, but it's not as secretive or as people like to think it is. But as far as what's been going on, Jeff and Corey have been busy, mainly themselves, the rest of the board. We haven't had a management board meeting since the vote, really. The various things, but nothing else. Kind of now, it's too late to start a new organized legal plan for this fall, so
Never too late, is it?
that's why I'm here.
So what is the board thinking, like being a member on the board, are they thinking they're not gonna go, like they're gonna hold out for 5, or are they just gonna say the hell we're going?
It's not really a board decision, is it? It's your own individual. Myself, I don't like James, I don't really like him being here, but everything he said
I hope you
tonight,
don't.
I fully
I hope
agree.
you don't. At least you told me the truth.
I fully agree with everything you said tonight.
But you
If
say-
the majority of the votes wanna stay until we hold out for a better price, I'm not gonna be the first one to go.
But you say it's not your guys' decisions, but it is, because you guys are representing the fishermen, and I'm getting a call from my LA34 director and saying, you know, what do you want, what do you want?
Well-
And it just seems like the board, it seems like the board ain't getting out here and asking what they want.
You gotta realize, the board is a bunch of volunteers, right? You can't blame everything on the board. You can't sit back on your couch and think, why isn't the board doing this? They're just a bunch of volunteers like you and I. I've only been on it a year, just because the guy that I took the job from got fed up. You can't blame everything on them. It's not their fault. They don't have money. They can't, if you gotta mail out something, no one wants to pay them. No one wants to pay half a cent or nothing like that. So even if you gotta mail out a vote, it costs $2,200. They kinda got their hands tied. Since the vote, I've been working on that 300 pot limit since April. I paid money out of my own pocket to go meet the minister, to ask him if it was possible. He said he'd work with us, do what you want. The only thing he needs is the majority of the fishermen. We didn't get the majority of the fishermen, so
There you go.
give her hell.
That's where the problem lies, you need the majority.
No, just a minute, he told you, that's okay, that's over. When you met with Keith Ashfield, did you ask him if he had a plan down the road, 3, 4, 5 years? In the equation, in the plan, was it quotas?
No, yeah, we did ask him.
What did he say?
He said he was very glad to see us. He said he was very impressed that we were being proactive. He said, if you guys wanna take control of your fishery, there's no one that understands your fishery better than the fishermen themselves. He says, find a plan to fix it before we have to come in. He said, chances are, in history, when the government has to come in and implement something, the people aren't happy with it. Thank you for coming forward, do what you need. We tried, we didn't get a majority. And I'm telling you the honest truth.
I'm surprised that those
No,
300 pots didn't get
you.
voted in.
I believe you. And I'm glad you don't like me. At least you told me the truth.
He's here.
I'm just fucking.
Kristen, do you wanna how you making it? Are you gaining any ground at all? Are you gaining any ground? Don't do that.
There's nothing much I can do.
Huh?
There's nothing much I can do.
Okay.
We can't change that.
We thought this over, and I gotta run this by you, about no pots in the water. That's not fair, and I'll tell you what. You take, some waters, takes them 7 days to put the pots on the water. Right. And you can't do that. What we did come up with is this. Pots on your boat until we get a committee price.
Right on.
And remember, I'm not gonna be guilty about anything this time. Everything we've told you, every living thing, nothing has been fabricated, nothing. You can't pick it apart, you can't punch holes in it. There's a lot of people that's tried, believe me. It is up to you folks. There's nothing wrong with uniting. It will make you feel good. It will make you feel unbelievably. You'll have a rush. Everybody that I talk to, the fishermen say we need change. So I bring up something, oh, we can't do that. Well, I bring up something else. No, can't have that. Well, you don't want no change. Well, guess what? Let us do the change for you. We're a lot of dealers.
Ask the question, how many license holders is in here tonight? Just to show of hands, how many license holders?
This year.
For another year.
That's okay. Tomorrow, you will actually give your friends the information, talk to them. And here's what we'd like to, we'd like you fellows to stand your ground. You have to. You got it? You have to.
You were saying there with the board and stuff, I was to meet on the 17th of October, and Spenny was there.
Hang on, Andy.
After Spenny was there, price was never mentioned. The only thing they were worried about was tags. That was the only thing they were mentioned, they were gonna get their tags in the future. And the board actually disregarded the board, see more than had faith in PLFA, and I thought, yeah, that's gonna meet.
That's the only thing that was interesting. So you are on the board then now, are you? I pity you.
Yeah, I know.
But somebody's gotta go there. Somebody has to go there and do that.
Somebody has to, yeah.
I admire you.
I didn't have to come here tonight either.
Got nowhere else to go.
You don't either, only on the pipeline. And it won't be a fuss job like you got had in Paradise 5 years ago,
I
neither.
ain't got nothing holding me here, so.
You heard, you had Paradise up until 5 years ago. Now you're losing it.
It was good for a while.
Remember what I said about the hurricane? So what, let it come.
It looks like we're past the right now.
Northeaster, 90 mile an hour, let it come. I lived in Paradise all my life, I got no education at all. I got grade 9 education, I hated school. That's me, okay? I'll say 80% of you, oh no, I won't say, I'll say 70% of you don't have no education. I'm talking about grade 12 and a little bit of college. You lived in Paradise, why not keep it? So, I'm standing up, standing strong, and I want you guys to stand with me.
In paradise.
Pardon me?
In paradise.
In Paradise.
A little less money.
Just look at it, just look at it. When I went lobster fishing, I went fishing for about 20 years. Listen here, I probably fished 80, 85 days a year lobstering, and that was hard. and I probably fished another 60, 70 days fishing. The other half of the year I had to play. I went gunning, deer hunting, jacking, drank booze, got drunk, played cricket. Yes,
So right now, we're not putting traps on our boat.
right.
What are we waiting for? What's the deal breaker? When do we go fishing?
The deal breaker is when they commit themselves to the price,
Which price though? What price?
What
are we looking
price?
for? And who's gonna bargain for us?
If the dealers come at us with a price, you folks are gonna be notified, and we're gonna have a meeting in the same hall.
So they're gonna bargain with you?
I hope so.
And they want, and we need.
I hope so.
And what do we want? We want, like, we're gonna know what we want.
Yeah, but James, it's like, I'm here on behalf of my father who happens to be a license holder. And we both said there today as well. Say they give us $5 to dump our pots. Who's to say they don't fucking drop the price 3-4 days later to $4, $3.50?
Well, the commitment
Our
on
traps
that.
are
You know
already in
something, you know something, hang on, you know something, I was surprised this spring, when they committed themselves to $5 and stayed with it.
Now, when you guys were on strike, we were going Sullivan. We weren't gonna go do that foolishness for $3.50. Why did it take this long to turn around and start stirring up the pot to get after the buyers to raise up the price? When you guys were on strike, if you guys had held on another day or two, we were told by 3 buyers up that way, the price would have jumped. They were shitting bricks. The price was gonna jump.
Okay, I'm gonna answer that question too.
I'd rather go lobstering than fucking do that foolishness.
I wanna see you go up. Hang on. You know what happened? We made a commitment, and the members made a commitment to us. 4th day of January. 6 days of grace. Don't sell no more lobsters unless you get $5.50, okay? Every day, there was a certain amount of fishermen, the same fishermen went in and seen in dealers. You know what they was telling the dealers? And I know this to be the truth. On a strike, we'll go for $3.50. Come on. And I was beating at them saying, no, we made a deal at $5.50. You gotta stand your ground and keep your word. You have to.
But to be united, everybody knows this, you're never gonna get everybody to stand
You don't
together.
know that.
Because there's always gonna be some fool
You
that's
don't
gonna
know.
go for $3.50.
You don't know that.
They are
Time
not.
hasn't come yet. Hold it. Let's find out what you guys are made of. And don't get up in the morning and say, well, if Joe Blow goes, I'm gonna go. No. You get up in the morning, you look in that mirror and say, guess what? How you going?
We got crews from here that are fishing Digby for $3.50, so what's gonna stop them from coming down here and doing the same thing?
You are, if you want to.
Oh, yeah, I would. You guys say, we'll shoot every goddamn one that goes on top of
How
the
do you
fucking
know?
boat.
Tell me that. I got 2 questions. 2 serious questions. Okay, we'll just say hypothetically, you're used to catching 70, 80 times. We'll just say that hypothetically. How do you know you're gonna?
That is a documentary.
Just a minute, now, hold it. How do you know you're gonna catch up in your arm?
I don't know.
That's right, and I don't either, and ain't a man in here
I'm
can
just
stand up and say he knows,
Just expecting that many.
okay? And tell me this, what's to stop the dealers from paying $2 a pound?
Probably what they're gonna do, because
You.
they're paying $3.50
You.
there now, and we're gonna get 50 cents less for sure. And Grand Banan's gonna open at 3.
Break Ramadan, Digby too. Listen, people is called, why don't you come to Grand Banana? Here's what I tell them. Listen, there's, I think 107 licenses in Grand Banana. You fellows, send your money here, all of you, every one of you, and I'll come to Grand Banana. But if you don't send your money, guess what? I have a responsibility here for 33 and 34. And guess what? The plate's pretty full.
Last spring, the reason I think we got the price to the end, we went out, a bunch of us went out Matag and the strike and see what was going on. And we ended up finding out that one buyer had committed to his boats for a $5 price to the end. Once the buyers found out one buyer committed to $5, well, they knew they had to. So instead of fighting amongst ourselves about this, that, and everything else, why can't we get a buyer, maybe a smaller buyer, not one of these big buyers, with big enough balls to put on the table saying, we have a market,
Okay.
maybe it's not as big, but
Okay.
we can pay you $5
Okay.
for your lobsters, and then all the other
We're gonna
buyers are
talk
gonna
about
have.
this one too. Hang on. We're gonna talk about this one too. Okay. Hang on, guys, just a minute. Just a minute. Are you gonna guarantee him? We'll just say that he's gonna promise you and keep his word at $5. Okay? Just think about that. And we'll just say he's a dealer from Maine. Hang on, guys, hold it. Just 1 second. So, okay, he's gonna promise you $5. And I don't know who you sell your lobster to, and I don't wanna know. But your dealer says, I'll match him and pay 25 cents more. Are you gonna sell it to the main dealer at $5? No, you're not. That's what drove them all off the wharf. That's the story.
I don't think the local buyers realize the trouble they're gonna be in either, to be honest. And there's already a couple closing up. I know one in East Side, they refuse to buy lobster now because
He's not closing up.
no, they can't keep up. I mean, they're dealing with a 25, 50 cent because the big companies are only giving them that price range to work with. Like Digby opened up at 350. Spiros is paying $4.25 to buy lobsters from uncommitted buyers there. So it goes to show you that, to me, the market can handle that $4, $4.25 a pound lobster, to me, anyway. I mean, but guess what? If you're part of a co-op that Spiros is involved with, you're getting $3.50. So that's what I don't like. Like, he's got too much control, overall.
I told you the two things. That guy walks in his office and his salesman only sold 10,000 that day. He's all depressed, he's all shook up, and he says, well, we were paying $4.50, but we're going to drop the price to the fishermen at $4, because we never sold 30,000 a day, and that goes on. And I'll tell you something else, you're the first man brought this up. The price fixing, we're gonna investigate this one too. And I want you to tell your dealers it. I'm gonna do it. I'm not gonna let my community go down with that price. No way.
It blows my mind how
No
high
way.
lobster is everywhere.
They are guilty of sin. They're guilty of sin.
China buys like
The la-
8-9% of our lobster.
The last court was in Alberta. And they found them guilty. They had a judge and a jury, and it cost them $12 million. This is number one price fixing.
But to take them guys to court, you gotta be united, you have to be, like the American Beef Cattlemen's Association, I believe, had the same battle, but they united, so you have to have everybody,
If all the captains were united, we'd get a price by the 26th. We wouldn't have to wait. I know some guys on Facebook, they're already saying we should leave our problems in the wharf and go fishing. Well, thanks.
You know what now?
There's some guys on Facebook, captains on Facebook, saying we should leave our problems in the wharf and go fishing. It's like, thanks. This is where I think the hired
Well, I would
man has
think,
no leg to stand
you
on.
should counterattack, say, you have got a problem,
I
you go
have.
fishing.
You have.
That's what I tell them.
But this is where the hired men have no leg to stand on.
Look, no good for you to talk negative talk here around at night, so I'm not listening to it. I just closed my ears to it. I'm going positive that way, 220. We'll find out what you fellows are made
Like
of.
you don't want to vote.
We'll find out what you're made of. And like I told Andy, you don't think I'd go off the vision with him, 325 yet? No. I want to be in one seat, see you later. And I won't. Only way I go is keep some kids alive. Like I told you, one out of every five will get a hungry child in county.
Yeah.
Look at our society today. Well, look at it. Some people haven't paid last year's gear bills. Don't think much of your community or your fellow fishermen. You don't unite, I'll tell you.
It's definitely our only shot. It's our only hope. But
It's
they're not
the-
gonna give us a goddamn.
It's the only alternative.
Yeah, there's not, once the 300 pod, project got voted down, everybody was looking around going, what do we do now? What do we do now? Well, shut up and let's do something. Because There's nothing that they can do now, other than just not go.
You know
That's the
why?
last hope.
You know why the vote failed? If I had a license, I would have voted for a delay of 1 week. But you know why it failed? 34 can't do nothing until 33. Can't be done. You folks gonna stay ashore and I can go fishing for a week?
Yeah.
I don't think that's gonna happen either. So it wouldn't be very well planned. Whatever you do, you have to include 33. That's been tried before. Him, you gotta include him. He goes fishing from 33. And by the way, you're gonna catch more lobsters this year. You will. Them lobsters are searching for colder water. These V-knot lobsters, some of you are catching, you guess where they're coming from, you know where they're coming from. So this decision is your fault. I'm with you all the way. And to answer your question again, look, what's wrong with staying in? What is wrong? It makes me feel so good to say, you know what, we're taking this industry back. I am going to stand my ground.
It wouldn't take long. We got an extra week.
I told you. Look at the water temp. You said he just come in from fishing. Where the hell did he go to? Tell him the water temp. Hey, he'll tell you the water temp. You just come in from fishing, strong fishing.
No, I got a few more things to say about water.
Okay, hold it.
James had called me up here early night. I said I'm not gonna have anything to say, but I just can't walk away without saying something in front of you, if you like it this way. I've been at this for 41 years. Let me just take it back to a little history. That ground fishery's gone. You folks know. What really bothers me when I look down over the fishery today, we are following the same path that we took in the ground fishery.
Yes, you are.
That sad path we're walking. We haven't learned one thing from it. We have, and I'm gonna just, because he said something here tonight. A lot of young men in this building, a lot of, and it just bothers me that this place should be packed with license holders. And I'm glad that the non-license holders did show up, because it is showing a little bit of concern about what's going on. It's no good to knock down 34, and I agree with him so hardly, because I was on that board, and you did fish in the water. Because you work on the plan, and if you can shoot it down, it's just like that, all wasted time. And then the fishermen, your fellow fishermen come back and put all the blame on them people. That's wrong. Stand up and be men and take control of your own industry. If we don't get 100% support, not 99, just make this very clear. If you don't get 100% support of what he's talking about here tonight, not loading your boats, just think about this now. If 100% of the boats didn't load, you ain't gotta belong to this board, just belong to yourself. And look at what's taken place through history with our communities and our fishery. Just belong to your own self and say, where do I want to be tomorrow? I want to still be talking with him. May not have the same views, but we can talk. If you don't take control as 100% of this industry in this stand, you can write this down in the history book, and I don't care where you put it, but you can put this in history. This industry is done. It cannot survive any longer on $3.25. Now, I'm not the best fisherman. I've caught my share. I went lobstering. I went halibut fishing. Then all winter. I've been fishing all summer. And I'm going to tell you what, the accountant showed up to the door today. And I have no idea how 90% of you people that don't even go other than lobstering is even hanging on. It's got me totally confused. I don't know. It's got me totally confused. So here's what's going to happen. If you don't stand united, Just throw your hands up in the air and say, okay, let's go until we're done. Because that's only gonna be a short time. He says 3 to 5 years, I say 3 at best, at best. I wouldn't give it 5. I'll say 3 years is done. If you stand united as people and don't load your boat, and now you're gonna start loading 2 or 3 days before the season. They don't see no activity going around the wharves, these boats being loaded. Guess what? The wheels are gonna start turning, say, these folks are serious.
Nerve pill.
They got serious in the standoff. That was a nerve wracker, but you need to listen to that. That was a nerve wracker.
Well, we're putting a sign
But I'm
up
gonna
in the
tell you
river.
something.
They're not going
If 50% of the people decide to stand and not load the boats, and 50% of the boats do load, I can guarantee you Shake Harbor and what went on there will be a picnic.
Don't have to park nothing.
Because when that happened then, you was catching 500, 600, 700 pound lobsters. 50% of this fleet ain't gonna stand back to get a price for somebody catching 5 and 6 and 7,000 pound lobsters. It'll be a disaster, a total disaster. The only way this is gonna work is unite 100%. Nobody has anything to lose if we stay on the water.
I'm
The
thinking
lobsters is going nowhere.
We're gonna be taking over a little river.
The lobsters is going nowhere.
I hope so.
And before May 31st, whatever was there for you, you will catch. And mark my words, you will not be there long. You won't be if you stand united. But if 50% go and 50% think they're gonna stay, you will destroy each other. That is just 2 hit-on planes coming together, and when it crashes, all will be good. It will not work. You got it. This is your last straw, boys. And I can't understand why the place ain't packed, but people saying, this one time, let's stand united, not load the boats, until we get a confirmed price. I don't know what the confirmed price will be, I don't know what people will settle for. You may start out at one price and shooting for a price and say, and they'll come, and somewhere there'll be a compromise. And you say, okay, but we can't for 3 1/4 won't work on the road. Just be men enough to go home and talk to one another. Don't fight with one another. That took place, that was wrong. I was fishing at the time, I called my son, I said, do not go in amongst it, because you wind up destroying the friends you've had for life. Now, you load, you don't. Think about that. You've got the same bills as he's got, now he knows different. That's the way it is. Are you gonna stay on the wharf with your 375 pots sitting on the wharf and he's waiting for the bell to go that morning, knowing that if only 50% of the fleet goes, he knows the price will be better? And here the rest is sitting
It
there.
won't take long to make it up, that's for sure.
No, I guess it
Price
wouldn't.
will go up.
100%, gentlemen, 100%. If you don't load your boats, everybody's at the same playing field, everybody. And that's the only way it will work. And you won't be there, you'll open on the 26th day of December, schedule, if you stand together tonight. Make the stand tonight and say, we're not loading the boats across the board, and by the 26th day of December, you're not going to price.
I got one more thing to tell you. There is a price that you back the consumer off at. There is a price. There is a price where you back them off. And that price, and I had this rail and argument good many times with other dealers. There is a price. That price, when the economy was good in the United States, it was about $8.50, back them off, slow them down. That's to the consumer, okay? A $5 price here is reasonable. It is reasonable. How you gonna get there? You're gonna put it there. You are. You are. You're gonna put it there. And remember what Sandy said. He told you the truth. This is your one and only chance to stand your ground and say, ha, ha, ha. Guess what? You might think I'm going off the fishing at your prices, what you want to throw at me, dealer. But guess what? I'm not. You know, that when we first started in January the 4th, they were making bets on us. They're gonna last 3 weeks. Oh, yeah. Yeah, they told me. Well, we'll wait and see. I never said anything about how long it's gonna last. Oh, you know, what are you gonna do? You're not gonna get a majority? We haven't got a majority, but we're still pounding on the drums.
If Brandon opens lower than Digby, there'll be more people at the next meeting. That's all it takes. Every week that goes by, the price goes down, there'll be more people showing.
We have a meeting tomorrow night in Barrington. It'll be the same thing, but I tell you what I want you to do. 2 things, please. Go home and find somebody that has a documentary of one dead fish. That will change your mind and your mindset forever.
What about the boys up at Hagen?
What's that?
What about the boys up at Hagen that didn't support the strike last week? Something you guys support this?
They're on track.
Well, doesn't work its way down. You don't know. But I'll tell you what, I'll be honest with you. If I lived in Matagan, and Fort Maitland didn't go, guess what? I wouldn't go. You know why? Let me tell you what happened down here.
They didn't have that much to lose on the strike, but at $5 a pound.
One second. Let me tell you what happened after the strike. There's some controversy over that scene.
Take status quo.
There was some controversy. And it was like this. This got called up, he stayed in for the strike. He was a firm believer and he stood his ground. So anyway, one of the guys that went 2 or 3 times, I was over top of him, he called him up. He said, you know what, I never done this in my life. But I'm gonna tell you something. You're over top of me, and I'm gonna cut you in little pieces. Never cut a man's thrall, never, he ain't got a black mark on him on the social. And he said, if you get over top of me again, I'm cutting you again. Guess what? If there's a strike or a stay ashore this time, Shea Carver will stay ashore. And I got an idea the Mentagan boys will have to stay ashore too.
Are you gonna have a meeting up there with them?
I've had meetings up there.
Nobody showed up.
Nobody never come. But I still had the meeting.
But James, you gotta realize this spring when we went up there, they had a committed price of $5 from their buyer to the end. So instead of going up there and making a big fuss or whatever, we didn't have to go up there and roll cars over, we just had to find that out for our buyer.
I'll go back to what Claude Melton told Claude. This year, Melton told Claude he wasn't gonna like that. Do you think I believe these major lobster dealers? Listen here, I lived with them for 27 years. I did. Next thing they're gonna be hollering, you know what they're gonna be hollering about? Well, New York is, you know, they've had a hurricane over there and they ain't gonna eat. They're gonna starve to death. They ain't even gonna eat. Come on. Come on. Don't tell me that bull crap. Every year, here's what they told. Well, the processors, they're not gonna buy lobsters this year, they're full.
Yeah.
Guess what? I wanna know what the processors have got in that freezer bunkers, and whether it's sold or not sold. Every year that I'm on it, for 7 years, they had no inventory that wasn't sold. It still was in the freezer bunker, some of it, but it was contracted. You won't have that this year, guarantee you. So, you know, when they tell you that the New Yorkers is gonna starve to death, guess what? You know what? That will be the next thing will come out, wait and see what they tell you. Did you say anything?
But that was the bud, they're still, that's the room they got around. Canners are full, and they're not flying on more.
I will put my shit together, and Erica will put it on Facebook and email. And you know I'm not gonna fabricate anything, because I love my credibility. I would never lie to you.
What they're doing.
Now, I might lie to you about my personal life a little bit, but I don't lie to you. Guys, I've told you everything, never fabricated anything, never lied. You fellas know, you know what you gotta do.
And by the way, the water temperature was 55 degrees.
What's that, Sandy?
You want to know what the water temperature was? It was 55 degrees.
55 degrees.
What should it be, Sandy?
52, 51, 52, so it's about 2 or 3 degrees warmer.
Look at your grass on your lawn, for God's sake. It's growing every day.
I got a mow.
I mean, not that real grass, but the... Okay? I told you everything I could tell you. We'll continue to monitor the main prices. We're gonna monitor the New Brunswick boys. And you'll know the information. As soon as we get a hold of it, Erica's gonna put out the information.
So one question, do they have too many lobsters on hand right now?
Who?
The buyers, because last year, they had all kinds of lobsters right now, right? Right now, this year, in Maine, they were down. DP open, they're down by what, 50%, Flav?
Yeah, the main trucks are underwater looking for lobsters.
Right? Now, New York had that big storm, all the inshore guys that were alongside the shore hauled up, both sides of the shore,
Plus the nor'easter.
and plus the nor'easter, and the only ones that are fishing left in New York is only the deep water fishermen. So I figure they're gonna start to hurt quite bad.
Red Lobster. Their shares went up $40 this year. Yeah, $40. Their share structure went up. This year, there was another lobster processing plant that come into play in the US. Linda Bean, 3 years ago. She has a lobster processing plant. Spiros and Garbo, they bought out Stinson's for the tax. They owe taxes on the building. They might be processing lobsters this year. Don't tell me there ain't plenty of market out there for the lobsters, because they are. And remember another thing, I remember one year the lobster processing plants paid $6.75 here to the dealers. No, to the fishermen. And then the dealers made a profit and they took them to New Brunswick. And they can't pay $5 for your lobsters? They can shoot all the shit they want, bull crap you as much as they want. They don't dare to bull crap me. You know what I told one fellow the other day, don't you? I ain't making no money. I said, guess what? You better get the hell out of this business. The last five years, the price has been so low, guess what? You must have had your head in the sand. Go home. That's what I told him.
And then last spring, I went to my accountant, and my accountant said, he's saying to all his fishermen, if you see a price with a 3 in it, don't go fishing. He says, anything under 4, don't go, nobody. And he keep on telling that to all his fishermen. So I got no idea what your accountants told you, but
It's just the way it goes.
if you go for 3, you can't make it.
It does,
If
the
there's a
numbers
3 in
don't
it.
work.
So if you wanna go, go, but
There's too much expense for the money you're bringing in.
doesn't match up at the end of the year. It looks good when you
Like
go
I
and
said, I
get.
don't know how these young men are doing it with just lobstering. It has me totally confused. All the power to them that they're hanging on, but I know it can't last
Probably
forever.
the mob is lending the money.
I'm telling you right now. I'm telling you, it puts a lot of stress on these young families and stuff too.
Told you the story, told you, never fabricated anything, never lied to you. There's only one alternative.
I mean, it's a big story.
You're proposing to set or negotiate and set a price for $5.
Yes, sir.
Would it be a 2-tiered price? A $5 quality lobster and a $4
No,
soft
we
shell
ain't gonna fool around
culls?
that gun game, that's confusing.
Just a straight $5?
No, no, $5.
Great price.
But hang on, hold it now, don't, let me tell you exactly. You fellas will decide. If they commit to a price, we're gonna have another meeting right in this hall. The fishermen will decide. I'm saying their lobster's worth $5. I'm saying to the dealers, what conditions do you want these men to fish under so we can get to $5? Now, if they commit to a price, naturally, we gotta bring it back to the fishermen, and they will decide. Clean cut, crystal clear.
I think you have to enter any negotiation with a little expectation above, I think anyway.
I could get you a $5 price, if you could tell me if we're all on the same page. One telephone call, wouldn't have to have a meeting, this way it's gonna be. One call. I'll call my son first.
Why can't
I'm all done.
why can't the community and the industry and the dealers that are independent dealers and the fishermen and the crewmen work together as comparison to
That's what we're saying.
a strike? The dealers and independent guy, I mean,
They won't.
I don't want to say it on camera, but
They won't.
Spiros isn't everybody's friend.
You want to
Sorry,
say it on
man.
camera?
Sorry, prick.
Why don't you say it on camera?
Well, nothing against Spiros. Just he's controlling 20 million pounds of lobsters, so you say price setting and collusion, but
We
there's
had
a,
2 meetings with Sparrows.
yeah?
He went back to Greece. He never stopped in the United States. He kept on going to Greece with his tail between his legs.
But he's still buying lobsters and making,
Somebody asked him if he knew Garbo. He said, no, we never knew the man. Oh, God's sake.
80%, 73% of our
Like I
lobsters.
say, listen, we're not.
Whoa, Jay, whoa.
73% of our lobsters last year in 2011 went to the States.
Yes.
At least, I don't know, I've asked this question to different dealers, Kirk Nickerson in particular, relation to you. I guarantee, he says, 50, 60% of those lobsters were shipped around the world as product of the USA. Why aren't we holding our A-grade lobsters and shipping them ourselves, whether we have to truck them down working with the dealers, if you guys are working together and marketing the lobsters, because there's zero marketing
You're
Canadian
talking about
lobsters.
the fishermen. Is that
The
what you're
fishermen
talking
and the dealers.
You know
and
why? I'll
Why?
tell you why.
Because they're not
Because
together.
they thought that the dealer was going to use them fair. And some of them here tonight, I think the mindset has changed since this meeting tonight. Some of them think that, well, probably will pay us, not a fair price, but probably they'll up it a little bit, probably a quarter. That's what these fellows are thinking, but they can't go fishing without a committee price, you can't do that. The reason being, there's some co-ops around. There's one in Argyle, Ashton Spinney's co-op. There's one in Overton. But they sell to Sparrow. If you're gonna do something, you go to the source. You take it out of his boat, put it in a box, and ship it to China. Yeah.
Which is where we eventually planning to go. Maybe you should talk a little bit on the processing.
No, you better.
Okay.
I got a big mouth and I'm talked out. Come on. You can tell me.
See, some of you was looking when I carried my big stick in. That big stick's our shield. As long as I'm carrying that, we speaking nothing but the truth. And, that's what kind of. Tonight here, you see two Jameses. And when you see Jesse James, and he's kind of pisses you off, doesn't he?
I hope so.
He pisses me off. He used to.
I hope so.
He used to piss me off big time. But as I listened and I listened, there's two Jameses, as you've seen tonight. Jesse always tells the truth. Always tells the truth. He don't get it across too plain, but he always tells the truth. And then you see the other James that is interested in our communities and the jobs that we're losing. I have two brothers out west, both fishermen, would love to be back here. But anyway, leave the matter silly. As we speak right now, a feasibility study is being done on the lobster processing plant. We're not interested in handling 22 million pounds. We're shooting the first year for 5 million pounds of quality lobster. We had the expertise to do that. People are coming alongside to help us do that. I was in the fish business, used to run M&M Fisheries for 12 years. We had a whole fleet of draggers. If you want to know the future, you have to go back to the past and learn the future. And when they come in with the quota, they gave us quotas enough that everybody was happy. I was running the fish plant, I had all the fish could handle. No problem. What they do is kept cutting the quotas, cutting the quotas, cutting the quotas. And then the quotas were bought up by for a lot of people.
The fish board.
Fish. And then we had to compete, all the little guys was competing with the fish lord, cutting each other's throats to get the fish. I see the handwriting on the wall and got out of it. And but that's a whole different story. We can, and if it goes to police, the reason I told you that story was that they might give you this to start with, but I'll guarantee it won't stay there. That's for sure. We are looking into this processing plant, and we've been meeting with the consultant. And we want to do everything value added. This is gonna take 5, 6 years. This isn't gonna happen overnight. But exactly what you fishermen are saying, we need these processing plants wherever we need them. We need one in Wedgeport, we need one in here. That's gonna take time, it's all gonna take time. With the way the market's growing, within the next 5 years or so, we ain't gonna have enough lobsters to supply the world market.
And he's right. He's right.
These fellows see that, that's why they want to sew it up. I'm gonna use the words of Tony in that video, Last Big Fish. He said, you folks don't realize it, but this is Custer's last stand. You folks don't realize it. This is Custer's last stand. If we don't unite, it's gone. It's funny how certain people come to us and to help out. It's, when a problem comes, there seems to be somebody to come along to, just the person we need at that time. When I say I carry the stick and I speak the truth, here is the truth. That God will bless those that bless us, and He will curse those that curse us. And by saying that, it leaves the choice to them. This is a good cause, it's to help all the communities. I know you go ahead, might not like Gene, might not like me, but what about the plan? Is the plan good or not?
On your, the plane,
Yeah.
lost that. Colony's closing down. Keep losing more and more businesses on the yard. It's gonna happen after another annual lobster fishing.
It's done.
We have 18 species that are not being fished right now. We're working on trying to get some of you guys jobs in the summer.
Collections.
Okay. Only every day. That's no word of law.
I call it, me and James met with Sterling last Saturday in his office. And met with Sterling, me and James, and he said that if all of our ducks were in a row, in other words, he means government foolishness is going to cost us about $30,000. We need a feasibility study, and we need a business plan for people. And his exact words was, if we have all that in place, and it all shows that it will work, which we know it will, that he would be our champion with government. I don't know, we'll see, on that, if he'll do that or not. Right now, we're trying to, in this feasibility stuff, we'll have what the plant will cost. Get a real idea, we think it's somewhere in the $5 million range. We plan to do a lot of species. Our main interest is, we need some work in the summer. Also, not just, we need jobs. That's where it boils down to. Now, on the sidelines, we've been, we're getting ready to go public with this. We've been battling this safety council, $200 bill you've been getting. You're gonna see a lot being stirred up in the very near future about that. Sterling was very upset today in the House of Commons. Might have got a little whooping, maybe. We'll see what happens. And again, I say, we've got to be very careful here. I can't stress any more than what Sandy said. The last thing we would ever want to do is tear these communities. Every time I drive across that white line in Shea Harbor, it reminds me that we almost tore down two communities. We still ain't got people talking to people. We don't want that to happen. We don't want that to happen, that's for sure. I guess that's all. I'll think of a million things on the way home. That's all I can think of right now. But I'm so excited on this lobster processing plant. We've met so many, this is my joke book, as I've told you, this is 4 years of me wrangling with government and the foolishness that I've had to put up with. And right now is Mr. Valverde Vanderbilt, he was held accountable today in the House of Commons. And we plan to do that. And I guess that's why they don't like us. We'll see what happens. Anything else?
Okay, guys. Thanks for coming again. Thank you for coming. Off to the dealer. Good night, everybody.